Donald Trump stunned reporters at the wrap up to this NATO summit, saying that he has been president 3 times. Something is wrong with this guy, and it is time for it to be the primary topic of conversation around this presidency. Here is Donald Trump saying, I got to be president 3 times. You did? I didn't think that happened, and I didn't think that was legal. And look at Hegseth and Rubio and Bessent standing there with their condescending looks. Dear God.
An oil glut right now because we got all those votes out of the Strait, and it's going to drop, and I've predicted everything. I've been right about everything, and I have been for a long time. That's how I got to be president 3 times. That's how I won 3 elections. I did very well in the second one, won it. It was a rigged election, but I've been right, and an oil glut right.
What on earth is this guy talking about? Non-compos mentis is not a joke, folks. He doesn't have the cognitive fitness to do this job. If this is the number one way to evaluate candidates or presidents, which they said it was when Joe Biden was the president, how can we not say that this is a red alert moment? I was president 3 times. Yesterday, he said that the Islamic Republic of Japan sent 111 missiles at an American aircraft carrier. He said to President Zelensky, President Putin, multiple times. But remember, once Joe Biden looked off stage and it didn't look like anybody was there. And then Jake Tapper wrote a book about it. Come on, guys. Come on. Donald Trump says that he's brought in $19 trillion in investments. $19 trillion.
1.5 years. Those numbers won't come out for a little while. So we have 19.2 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion with a T, invested in plants and equipment that's being built all over the country.
I'd go further. He's got cajillion dollars. This is a completely made up number. It's a completely made up number. And one of the things that is really weird, I guess, or I don't even know the right word to apply to it, is that if you know anything at all about the American economy, you know that this isn't possible. The GDP of the United States is $32 trillion. Donald Trump wants us to believe that he has brought in 19 trillion, some 60% of the entire GDP. It doesn't make any sense. That would put our GDP above $50 trillion. And it's not. GDP has just been slightly up and down. You have to believe that the money came in, but is somehow completely invisible. Donald Trump is asked about the war with Iran. And the question is premised on the idea that the war with Iran seems to be starting again. And Trump goes, no, it's not going to start again. It's going to go very quickly. But if it's not starting again, what is there that would go very quickly? It doesn't make any sense.
Media, Tunç Akkoç, Türkiye. Mr. President, it seems that the war with Iran may start again. What do you expect from your European allies?
I don't think it's going to start again. I think it's going to go very quickly. They hit a couple of ships, and so we hit them much harder. When they hit, we hit 10 times harder. We hit much harder than they do. We have a lot better equipment than they do.
So it won't start again, and when it does, you will end it quickly. Got it.
We may even, somebody asked before, do you think you'll hit them tonight? I said, we might. Yeah, we might. But when they hit, we hit. It's what we use their language. We speak their language. No, I don't think so. I think anything that happens is going to be over very quickly, and we'll only make it safer, including for oil. Oil is going to be.
The more bombs that fly, the safer it is. It's so safe, Trump decided to abandon his new plane for fear it was going to get shot out of the sky. That's how safe it is.
Be very free, very easy, and it's going to happen very fast.
First, really quick, a word from our sponsor. On busy days, I am not looking for a complicated food solution. I want something fresh, filling, fast, good enough that it doesn't feel like a compromise. And that's why our sponsor, Forkful, has been a lifesaver. Forkful delivers fully prepared, chef-cooked meals to your door, never frozen, ready in under 3 minutes. Every meal is made with simple ingredients, locally sourced vegetables, high-quality proteins, sauces made from scratch, no weird fillers or preservatives. They can accommodate any diet you're on, plant-based, keto, high protein, many, many options. I tried the barbacoa bowl with white rice and black beans, tender beef, peppers, sour cream sauce, delicious, tender, the kind of lunch I'd be excited to have again. Go to davidpakman.com/forkful and use the code Pakman for 50% off your first box plus 10% off your next 3 orders. The link is in the description. Now back to the video. You know, this entire gambit is so devoid of serious geopolitical objectives because nobody's even talking about the objectives anymore. If pressed, Trump will go, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. But the objectives have essentially evaporated. I'm starting to wonder, like, is this blatantly a money laundering operation? Is there some completely different, like, I know that Trump often is motivated by, I want to see big and strong and for people to be scared of me and for me to be respected and all this stuff. And as we've said before, people thinking that you're unstable and being skittish about that doesn't mean that you're respected. But put that aside. Is it possible that this entire thing is just a brazen money laundering operation of some kind and that that's really what's at play? Because if we just evaluate this on the standards of geopolitical objectives, it's completely bogus. Trump asked, why aren't you flying your new plane home?
Thank you, President Trump. Stephen Nelson from the New York Post. I'd like you to address speculation that you're leaving Ankara not in the new Air Force One because of security concerns involving Iran. You've spoken today twice about them possibly assassinating you and possibly being successful. Did that concern have something to do with you?
Well, I speak about it a lot because, you know, the life of a president is very dangerous. It's 5.2%. You know what a race car driver is? 1/10 of 1%. A bull rider, that looks pretty dangerous to me. It's 1/10 of 1%. No, it's 5.2% is you don't make it. You should have told me, you're an excellent reporter. You should have told me that years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have run. It's a very dangerous profession. No, I'm #1 on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm #1. So I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it. Because we have a country that's hot and really, really successful. But I mention it only because it's on the list. I mean, it came out. There was another list came out yesterday, and I'm #1 on. I like being #1 on TikTok better, but I'm #1 on the list for killing. Go ahead.
Hey, Sean McCreesh, New York Times. But why aren't you flying the new plane home?
Say what?
Why aren't you flying on the new Air Force One home?
It's flying to Europe, to one of the big bases, 2 or 3 of the big bases where we can show it to the people.
Yep. Trump just wants people to see the plane. Does anyone else see how much of a pathetic distraction this free but not really free plane has become? Flying there on one plane, but flying both the planes there, one's empty, and then flying back on another. And then ultimately we learned that Donald Trump switched planes in London. I mean, it's outrageous. Now, then we get to something I'm going to delve much more deeply into tomorrow. Donald Trump says he would be the greatest communist in history, up there with Lenin. You might go, Lenin, who's that? Lenin, yeah. There's a bigger story here about Trump and communism.
In the country. And communism's easy to sell. I would be the greatest communist in history. I'd be right up there with Lenin. I'd be as good as anybody. You've got free rent for the rest of your life. What they don't say is that you'll be living in squalor in 12 months.
Tomorrow, I am going to talk to you about how much Trump really does love communism, and he loves it. I'll explain. For the second time in the day, Donald Trump mused about getting assassinated.
They're gone. Now they have another set of leaders. They may be gone. Who knows? And you know what? I may be gone too, because I'm their #1 target. It's out all over the place. I'm their #1 because they're scum. That's the way they act, and that's the way they've done it for 47 years.
So they're scum and they want Trump dead. And with that, Donald Trump lumbers away from the microphone, putting the press conference to bed not a second too soon.
See you back. Thank you very much, everybody.
I am ready to declare, in no uncertain terms, Donald Trump should not be doing any more international trips. He can't do it, and it becomes a global embarrassment every single time that he does. Agree with me, disagree with me, let me know in the comments, and I will remind you that limited signed copies of my forthcoming book, Pay Attention, are available. It is almost certain that, like they did with my first book, this Trump administration is going to try to kill this second book. And I will be giving away, there is one copy of the book on my shelf behind me, which you can see. This is copy number 1. I will be giving away this copy to one person who pre-orders any version of the book. If you pre-order the audio book or the Kindle book or the hardcover book, signed, not signed, no matter what. If you want this, I will dedicate it to you and also send it to you with the number 1 numbered copy of my first book, The Echo Machine. It'll be a package of both. I'll dedicate them to you in a beautiful love letter, like Trump likes to say. Simply submit your pre-order screenshot to info@davidpakman.com. Somebody will get it. Lucky, unlucky, depends on your perspective.